It's quite hard to establish the proportion of the Mongols among the population, but in the slaves sold in Venice, for example, for the 14th century, they represented only a half% of the whole slaves arriving from the Golden Horde. So a quite small number. In fact, I suppose this is not the real proportion of the Mongols. We know from several sources, for example, all the elite in mid-13th century were Mongol and they were speaking Mongol. At the court of Batu Khan, the language used was Mongol. And Batu Khan and the elite of the Golden Horde did not accept to be called otherwise than Mongol. For them was the only proper ethnic and social name which was used. On the other hand, we have a lot of dictionary, Mongol Persian, Mongol Arabic, and Mongol Turkic dictionaries, which show that the Mongol language was quite spread in the western Ulysses, in the Golden Horde and in Persia. So the Arabs, first the Mamluks, were obliged to learn Mongol, not only for the diplomatic correspondence, but quite likely to spy on these foes, enemies. And the Mongol were, according to one source which I use here, a Pratica de la Mercatura written at the beginning of 14th century, the name of the military elite in the Golden Horde was Mongol. They ensured the protection of the roads. They were the only allowed to have weapon during peace. They were the core, the base of the army of the Golden Horde, which was organized in two ways. One armed contingent, which was kept all the time, and the general conscription, which was the people called to have to do military service during the war. That Mongols were always armed, and they represented the core of the army of the Golden Horde. Yes.
Hocam ilaveniz var mı?
Yok, sağ ol.
Teşekkür ederim. Buyurun. Bir tek.
How you define the ethnic name of Tartars, which was used in Latin sources in 13th century, so before Islamization?
Quite likely, the Tartar name is the more common name of for the inhabitants of the Golden Horde. And for example, in some sources, Western sources, the name of Tartars is extended to all the inhabitants of the Mongol Empire, including Mongolia itself. In the other hand, one of the most attentive observers, Björn de Robruk, is very careful in mentioning, he mentioned in the Golden Horde the presence of the Mongols, the Tatars, the Karluks, and other people like Alans and Greeks and Russians and so on and so on. So I have no special explanation why the name of Tartars became so popular. Quite likely for the Hungarians, the name of their eastern enemy is Tartar, because they had information that most of the Mongol army arriving in 1241-42 was made of Tatars and other tribes. But I have no an explanation why, for example, Giovanni and the Piancapino use the name of Tartars for all the inhabitants of the Mongol Empire.
Teşekkür. Başka arkadaşlara, bugün konuşanlara, bu oturumda konuşanlara sorusu olan var. Ha, buyurun.
About the transmission of the name of the Tatars, no? There is another theory that maybe is completed with the, the Turkish one, say the Central Asiatic one. The thing is that when the Mongol conquered the Tatars, when the Mongol Confederation conquered the Tatar Confederation, the Tatars were the most famous in the east, and when they fall on the Kumans, the Kipchak, the Kipchak were the most advanced people of the steppe in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and they, from them, there is this name, the Tatar arrives, not the Mongols, and for this it's very easy the transmission of the names Tatar that became Tartars, no? From Louis XIV, for instance, that because this kind of people became from the Tartar, the hell. It is all this medieval idea that is common to the Muslim in the East and the Christian in the West that mix themselves, no? When the Mongol arrived. But there is also this historical explanation when that is accorded by everybody. So.
Yes, quite likely. In the name of the Tatars is
Tatar, not Tatar.
yes, from the Tatars to Tartars. It's a combination between real historical experiences. The Hungarians and the Armenians are the main people which spread all across the Christianity the name of the Tatars. On the other way, it was this event, the dramatic event of the Mongol invasion, was considered like a flood of devil horsemen coming from the Tartarus, from the hell of the ancient people, ancient civilization.
At the same time, when the Tatars, when the Mongols arrived, they were so Christians. When the Mongols conquered Baghdad, no, when Hulagu conquered Baghdad, he conquered Baghdad, and his wife was a Christian, was I'll say Naiman, I suppose, but Christian. Yeah, but Christian. Yeah, but Christians. And the same things happened in Jerusalem. When they arrived, they were hailed by the Christians, by the Crusaders, because they conquered the Holy City. This is more complex, no? Everything about this kind of war, because it's a very, very big. Thank you.
Buyurun. Mikrofonu alın, kendinizi takdim edin.
I want to ask to Mr. Loman Hautala about subject that he mentioned that even at the times of Uzbek
At
Khan,
the same time, he preached, so he gave the license to preach the crusade in Hungary and Poland and Bulgaria. So this is very difficult to say if when the hope that the Mongols or the Normans would to be converted ended. Because I believe this whole contributed also to the diplomatic relations with Tatarların, because in some major the Europeans believed also in this early times, late times, that the North can to be converted to Christianity. So the popes have two levels of the ideological, which consisted on the preaching of Christianity among the Normans, and the political one, which consisted also in the concerns of the defense of Europe from the Normans. So this preaching policy, I believe, was the part of this whole policy of defense of Europe. If I explain it well, so if the Normans would be converted to Christianity, they do not attack Europe. Okay? Have I explained it well? I believe so.
Teşekkür ederim. Çay molasına gecikiyoruz. Bence güzel bir tartışma oldu. Dinledik arkadaşlar, meslektaşlarımızı ve soruları da dinledik, cevapları da dinledik. Şimdi çay molasına çıkabiliriz. Oturum bitmiştir. Teşekkür ederim.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunities to speak about these very interesting issues on identities and perceptions of human communities. But my English is not so good. I ask distinguished Professor Tasin Jamil, so I speak in Romanian. Thanks very much. Ipoteza de cercetare pe care am bazat această analiză a modului cum comunitățile umane s-au structurat în decursul istoriei, are la bază, pe de o parte, observațiile din evoluțiile petrecute după încheierea războiului rece din fosta Uniune Sovietică și din centrul sud-estul Europei, iar pe de altul, analiza istorică.
Pentru hazırlıklar sürdürdüğüm
Please give a microphone to Professor Tasin Jamil. A microphone.
Yani bu etüdüm benim Soğuk Savaş'ın Soğuk Savaşı bittikten sonra eski Sovyet coğrafyasında ve Balkanlardaki olayları göz önünde tutarak ve aynı zamanda da bu milli azınlıkların tarihlerini de göz önüne tutarak bu etüdümü hazırladım.
Cu alte cuvinte, din punct de vedere istoric, în evoluția societății umane, anumiți factori obiectivi și subiectivi au făcut ca anumite comunități să se organizeze politic și să administreze politica în funcție de o serie de factori.
Yani birçok amillerin sebebinden, değişen amillerin sebebinden tarih aşamında azınlıklar
organizări politico-administrative, regate,
amillerden yararlanarak kendi teşkilatlarını kurabilmişlerdir.
În Evul Mediu, de exemplu,
Orta Çağ'da da
atât în lumea creștină cât în cea musulmană, erau doi factori, în opinia mea. Unul de ordin religios și altul mitul fondator al elitei carismatice.
Orta Çağ'da Hristiyan dünyasında olduğu gibi İslam dünyasında da iki amir var idi, iki faktör var idi. Birisi bunun dini faktörüydü, ikincisi de kariyerado
Liderul carismatic cu rolul.
yani karismatik liderin miti.
Au existat atât în lumea islamică cât și în cea creștină, regate, sultanate, ducate.
Böylece yani birçok krallıklar, yani sultanlıklar falan kurulmuştu.
Atât timp cât o elită era în stare să ofere
Yani bir lider bu kuruluşları yönetebilecek kabiliyette olduğu takdirde.
Genghis Khan, Selim și alții.
Cengiz Han,
Fără existența lor n-ar fi existat aceste state.
yani bu liderlerin sayesinde bu devletler kurulmuştur.
Prin urmare, ceea ce înțelegem noi astăzi ca etnie și reprezentare etnică nu avea nicio semnificație în lumea, în opinia mea, nici în lumea creștină, nici în cea islamică.
Yani Orta Çağ'da bizde şimdi bizim anlayış yani azınlık olarak, etnik olarak bizim kavramımız Orta Çağ'da hiçbir anlamı yok.
În Evul Mediu, muntenii lui Vlad Țepeș s-au bătut cu moldovenul lui Ștefan cel Mare. Turcii,
Yani Roman tarihine örnek olarak alırsak, yani Romenlerin iki bölge arasında epey savaşlar olmuştur. Yani Moldova ile Eflak arasında. Yani en büyük...
erau de aceeași etnie, vorbeau același